Coming up on Look Today, well, the village of Lake George continues to search for the source of the contamination at Million Dollar Beach. I've got details. Plus, we have updates on the important developments in the Pitney Meadows Community Farm acquisition in Saratoga Springs. More on that coming up. And the Lake George Film Festival was postponed. I'll tell you why. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm J. Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with Meg Kelly. She's a mayoral candidate for Saratoga Springs, and she's here to talk about her background and reasons for running. I also sit down with Erin Coe. She's director of the Hyde Collection in Glens Falls, but not for long. And she's here to talk about her time spent at the Hyde and what the future holds for her and the museum. Plus, we got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, a broken sewer line was found near Million Dollar Beach in Lake George. Now, according to village officials, the incident occurred during a National Grid operation. Well, as of right now, Million Dollar Beach remains open, although tests are still being conducted to find the main source of that E. coli contamination. Now, some say the break in the line may have contributed to the contamination. However, the DEC and National Grid have both released statements contrary to that. Well, we spoke to Walt Lender. He's executive director of the Lake George Association.
We've ruled out a lot of things. We've seen a few things that might be contributors, but there's no definitive solution yet.
In other news, well, Pitney Meadows Community Farm is preparing for its grand opening with its fire feast on August 1st. Recently, through the efforts of the city, the farm underwent planned unit development zoning in order to build its infrastructure. The main mission of the farm is its educational programming for the community. Well, we spoke to a community member about their personal garden and what they tend to every day. Her name, Martel Catalano.
I never really was taught how to grow my own food or tend to plant, so I'm more here as like a student, essentially, like learning how to do all that.
We also spoke to Sandy Arnold. Now, she's on the board of directors for the Pitney Meadows Community Farm.
Community Farm, our main mission is for agricultural education. So with the community gardens up and going, Natalie Walsh is director of that, and she is going to be starting a whole bunch of programming to have classes and teach children all about different things. We are going to have some bees put on the property in the next week or two, so we'll have some training for them on that.
Well, switching from news to weather. Today brought high temperatures, humidity in the air, and temperatures close to 90. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser. Look at the first look weather forecast. Let's look at the national map. We have high pressure control for much of the southeast parts of the Mid-Atlantic, even portions of the Ohio Valley out ahead of this cold front boundary. That's by a good, nice heat wave, as well as some pop-up storms, especially in the southern states in the afternoon heating with this southerly breeze out of the Gulf of Mexico. We have this cold front boundary making its way through parts of the Midwest. We spot some scattered storms. Few can be on the severe side, especially in places like Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and parts of lower Michigan. Along this low pressure system, and a stationary front boundary is stretching its way all the way across New England, and that means more wet weather troubles here in our viewing area, as well as parts of the Northeast as well. As temperatures tonight going to be mainly in the mid-60s, few spots at elevation in the upper 50s. Fort Edward 61, Whitehall 61. Towards Glens Falls, we'll see a low temperature tonight of 63 degrees, 60 in Johnsburg. So we could see some scatter storms along that stationary front. Could see a 10 to a quarter inch of rain and a north breeze at 6 miles per hour. That stationary front isn't going anywhere. That's why it's named a stationary front. Storms in the forecast for Thursday, 77 are high temps. Storms will be likely as you walk out the door as well. Mid-60s at 8 a.m. So keep the umbrella handy as we're under a wet start. Here's our extended forecast. Will remain in the 70s for highs through Saturday. Will drop down to 71 degrees for a high on Friday. 60% chance of storms. And keep that umbrella handy as you head for your weekend activities. 40% chance Saturday, Sunday, and into early next week. On Monday, the high temperatures will rebound back in the lower to mid 80s by Monday. Low temps back in the lower 60s after a 59 morning low on Saturday. That's a look at our first look weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser. Now I'll send it back to you, Jesse.
Thanks, Clarence. All right, back to the news. Well, Lake George Film Festival that was scheduled to begin yesterday has been postponed to the following weekend. Now, the new dates are July 23rd and 24th. The festival will take place at the Festival Commons in Lake George. Now, if there's rain, it will be moved again to a high school. Well, we spoke to Amanda Metzger. She's marketing director for the Lake George Regional Chamber of Commerce.
So there was rain in the forecast a few days before the Monday and Tuesday it was scheduled. So the organizer decided to play it safe and postpone it because it is outdoors and there's a giant inflatable screen that they're showing the movies on. So you really can't do that in the rain. So with that chance of rain, he decided to postpone it.
Well, up next, I sit down with Meg Kelly. She's mayoral candidate for Saratoga Springs, and she's here to talk about her background and reasons for running. Plus, I also sit down with Erin Coe. Now, she's a director of the Hyde Collection in Glens Falls. She's here to talk about her time spent at the Hyde and what the future holds for her and the museum. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I've got a couple of lookouts for tonight. First, the Jazz Bar at Saratoga last night was a big success. A lot of people went there. Now, a reminder, it's only selected nights for the rest of the summer, so go to SPAC.org and find out what nights the Jazz Bar is open. Step back, you'll think you're in Casablanca. And you don't have to attend a performance, by the way. Okay, nothing is Art is Language tomorrow night on the lawn at SPAC is a great evening. It's Jerome Robbins, and it's Dances at a Gathering and the concert. Kind of strange ballets if you're looking for tutus, that you won't get it, but the storylines are great and it's a lot of fun. And last but not least, as you know, we've got a bunch of tickets for the Saratoga Fair, and we're really getting a lot of involvement from the audience on this. So I want to remind you, go to our Facebook page, like and share our post. We'll capture your name, and that makes you eligible to win tickets. So today's ticket winners are Joseph Green, Chrissy Stangle, and Jill Ellis. And each one of them can get up to 4 tickets for the Saratoga Fair. You pick them up right here at the Saratoga Studios between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. And I met some very interesting viewers today who stopped in and picked up their tickets. That's it. Tonight's Saratoga City Council meeting. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.